Hello, my beautiful souls. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Nicole, and I am here to help you reconnect with your divine light. 2020 has been a bit of a crazy year. I think it's probably been the craziest year so far for a lot of us. And while we all try and figure out what's going on, what I have come to understand with this year is that 2020 is a transitionary year, and 2020 is the year in which we are supposed to reconnect with our life purpose. I think it's safe to say that a lot of people have found themselves living life a little bit differently than they probably were. With COVID coming forth, everything has changed. Everything has changed, and I think as we've kind of been forced to take a break from life as we know it, a lot of us have started thinking a lot more about, why am I here? What do I actually want to do? What is my purpose in life? What do I want to do moving forward with myself? Because, oh, sorry, being attacked by a bee. It's safe to say that the world is never going back to what it once was. And I think moving forward as we try and understand what it is that we want out of our lives, we need to try and figure out what our plan is. And of course, it's not always easy having a plan. Of course, nothing is set in stone, and we live in a world that is constantly changing, constantly evolving, and so it's important to get comfortable with that change. But it's also very easy to get sidetracked and to not really know where we're going when we don't necessarily know who we are. And so, having looked at the astrology, it's quite clear that things are just going to continue being quite rocky this year. But looking at the numerology, 2020 calculates down to a 4. And 4 basically represents structure. It represents the laying of foundations. It represents putting in place organizational structures that will help us to move forward. 2021 is going to be a number 5 year, and 5 is all about seeking freedom. So as the world is changing and as we're heading towards complete unknown, because no one really knows where we're going to end up or what's going to happen, so 2021 is all about seeking freedom. So 2020 is really about, what are the foundations that you are laying in order to receive that freedom that will come next year. The astrology is completely supporting us to reconnect. As I said earlier, 2020 is a transitionary year, and 2020 is giving us the opportunity to reconnect with who we are at our soul level. So the question to you is, what is your heart telling you? What is your heart seeking and pushing for? Because at the end of the day, we are humans, we are soul beings having a human experience. And so we came here to live a life that is full of joy and love and compassion. And so it really is what our hearts are telling us and what our hearts yearn for more than anything that really help us to understand what it is that we truly desire. Unfortunately, the world that we live in has pushed us to believe that our dreams aren't always a possibility, or our dreams aren't always attainable, because we have been conditioned to think that there is only a certain path that we should follow and only a certain path which is considered right. But of course, we've seen now that things that were supposedly on the right path are now crumbling, and they're clearly crumbling because they just weren't meant to be. They aren't the world that we are supposed to be living in. And so I want to ask you to dive deeper into your soul and to really think about what your heart is telling you. And even if it's something that you were dreaming of back in childhood, I mean, go far back and think about how playful we used to be as children, and how we didn't care about what was going on in the outside world, and how we didn't care what people thought of us because that wasn't conditioned into us. But now a lot of us walk away from our dreams thinking that's not possible, or, you know, that's not who I am, or, oh, people think that I can't do this, and people say that I'm crazy for having this as my dream, but it's not about what other people think. It's not about what other people say. Nobody is the same. As much as we have been pushed to think that we are the same, no individual is the same, as it is our experiences that forge who we are, and every single person has a different set of experiences. So what I urge for you to do this year to make your future less scary, and to give you an opportunity to move forward in a way that is less scary, and also something that has vision, something that can keep you moving forward. Everything is about connecting with our dream life. Everything is about connecting to what our heart is telling us. But we have been pushed and pushed and pushed to believe that only our mind knows what is right. But when we use the mind, it doesn't always send us in the right direction, because our mind sometimes doesn't allow us to see clearly. So what I can tell you for sure that will help you on this path is to connect with your life purpose, to have a clear vision of what that purpose is, and to stick to it no matter what people say, is to stick to it. You must believe in that vision, and you must believe in that life path for yourself, regardless of what anybody says. So one way in which you can clearly identify your life purpose is through a calculation, which I will link down in the description below. But basically what you want to do is, all you need is your birth date. So say you were born on the 3rd of January 1990. You would add the 3 plus the 1 plus the 1 plus the 9 plus the 9 plus the 0. And that will give you a number. That number is your life path number. The life path number is essentially an indication of what you came here to learn. As I said earlier, we are soul beings having a human experience, and we came here to learn certain lessons. We chose to reincarnate in this form so that we would be able to learn these lessons, so that we would be able to move forward in the next life and use those skills to ascend to a higher level of being. And so, as the Buddha said, life is all about enlightenment. And enlightenment simply means enlightening yourself with knowledge, reconnecting with who you are at the soul level, and remembering all the things that you have done in the past life. Remembering that this world that we live in is simply a matrix in which we have been taught to believe that life can only happen in a certain way, but that is not true. So I urge you to dive deeper into yourself and to search for the answers of what your heart is pushing you to do, and to believe in them no matter what. Astrology is another way that you can help to identify what your life purpose is. For those of you who know a little bit about astrology, I would urge you to look up what your North Node is. If this is not something that you know how to do, there are astrologers out there who will be able to give you this information. And once this information is in your hand, you will begin to understand who you are a little bit better, and you will begin to understand the gifts that you have, and you will begin to understand why it is that your heart yearns for whatever it is yearning for. So I urge you to believe and to seek for yourself, for your path, and to believe in that path no matter what. I was lost for such a long time. I had no idea who I was anymore. I had no idea what I was here to do. I had no idea why I was here, and I was just so miserable. I took the time to dive deeper into my astrology, into my numerology, and this gave me a clear understanding as to why I was here. When you understand why you are here, you will make less wrong decisions, so to speak. And when I say wrong decisions, is every decision that leads you away from that life path is a wrong decision. Every time something falls apart and doesn't seem to work, it's because that is not your life path. And as 2020 has shown us with all the craziness that has happened so far, it is because we are being urged and pushed to reconnect with our life path. We are all here to help one another, but in order to help one another as a collective, we must understand why we are here as an individual, and we must stick to that path, and we must do everything in our power to connect with that path. But I promise you that that path will be something that will bring you nothing but love and joy and happiness. Everything that you are doing now that is bringing you stress and grief and unhappiness is because you are heading in the opposite direction of what your life path is. So do a little bit of digging, connect with who you are, go deeper within yourself and ask yourself the question, what does my heart yearn for more than anything else? Take a trip down memory lane and remember the things that you loved to do as a child, because that is an indication of what you are here to do. You are here to be your most authentic self, and by being your most authentic self, that is how you connect with your life path. So I promise you, my beautiful souls, life will get better. Life does get better. Life gets easier. Life will only be brighter and happier, but only once you have connected with that path. So I hope that this journey of discovery is beautiful and opens you up to see the shine that lights, the light that shines deep, deep, deep within you. Look for that light and connect with it, because once you have connected with that light, nothing can stop you. Nothing. You are a powerful, infinite being. And the only reason you don't feel powerful now is because you have forgotten who you are at the soul level. You have forgotten just how amazing you are. You have forgotten all the things that you are capable of, because too many people have gotten in the way and made you believe the opposite. So, beautiful souls, reconnect with who you are. Remember your path, connect with that path, and love yourself, and believe that you are capable of anything, so long as you keep striving forward and make the promise that no matter what, you will not abandon your dreams. I love you so much, and thank you. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to leave them in the comment section below.